Good morning. Great day. Grand rising. Grand elevation. Top of the top to you. Good morning, Queen. How you doing? Welcome to Manifest Mornings. So we wake up, we start our day reading out a couple of keys out of the book, a couple of affirmations, and some good information to start your day on a positive note. We normally start about 7 in the morning. But that wasn't happening this morning. My babies was not letting that happen. It definitely was going to require me to stay in bed today with them a little bit. So I was up at 7, up before 7, I got up when my alarm rang. But yeah, the babies was definitely like, nah, it's chill time. So a great day, grand rising, top of the top too, yeah. Yeah, I am just a little bit late today, but definitely excited, man. So I hope everyone had a great evening, got some sleep, got some rest, and is ready for a phenomenal day. I know everyone been anticipating, the changes happening in their cities and, different things with these stay-at-home orders and these curfews and all that good stuff. But regardless of what it comes down to us, today is your day, your opportunity to maximize your potential, to love on your people, to be the best, that you could be. So we're going to start, our morning with some affirmations like we normally do. Hold on, let me put this link up here. Great day, Jessica. Great day, fam. Grand rising, grand elevations, top of the top to you. Just the time, about to get started with these affirmations. Yeah. Keyshawn, what's going on, sweetheart? Good to see you. I already know what time it is. I was a little bit late today. Yeah. So, starting with the affirmations at the start of the book, at the top of the book. So, if you already know, this is page 18. Page 18, key number 11. So, here we go. I'm letting go of every part of me that is not contributing to my elevation. I am moving forward with dignity, grace, and patience. I am welcoming this new chapter with the highest level of gratitude and humility. My spirit rises to match the new and magical beginnings that await me. Low vibrating frequencies and energies can't reach me at this height. My vision is locked and focused on the multiple blessings that are coming my way. I have the knowledge to make smart decisions in my life. I have all that I need to make today a great day. I am, always have been, and always will be enough. I acknowledge my own self-worth, and my confidence is rising every day. I always attract the best in each circumstance. I will face and conquer my fears. My children are blessed. My family is blessed. My business is blessed. I increase daily. My faith increases. My love increases. My life increases. My resources, my finances increase daily. Every day I discover interesting and exciting new things, about me. I am virtuous. I am powerful. I am capable. I am deserving. I love. I give love freely and I receive love. I do good things and good things happen to me. People go out their way to do great things for me. I have the power to create the success that I desire. I am worthy of the success, the love, and the life that I want. I will have the success, the love, and the life that I want. I surround myself, and I am surrounded and supported by positive people who believe in me and want to see me succeed. I will be open-minded and always eager to explore the positive possibilities in every situation I encounter. That's a major one. If you can shift your mind to see the positive opportunity that approaches you in every situation that comes your way, you'll always find, you know, the way to be out of it. You always find a way out of it. You always find a way to remain positive. You always find a strength to get through it where other people, you know, they meet opposition and they stop and they stare at it. They talk about it. They signal for other people to come so they can look at it too, but they don't do shit about it. And that's not what we are. We are in the stance where when we come to a problem, we're going to be proactive, not reactive, to handle it. So you already know how I get down. I start every day with these affirmations. I do them with my children every day. I do my children every night, and it's going to build you up. You're going to encounter so many things that's going to try to tear you down, and that's going to try to pull your mind into a different direction. But this is a way that you stay strong. And if you just logged in for some reason and you haven't been here before, welcome to Manifest Mornings. We get together, a good group of high-minded, light-thinking individuals, and discuss the things that makes us stronger as individuals. I was just reading out of my book, Manifesting You, 111 Keys into Tapping into Your Divinity, unlocking, your greatest potential and getting out of your way. Because most of us exist in our own way, and sometimes we don't even know it. There's things that's came across your life and across your path that has created, what you call your personality and what you call your attributes. And a lot of them are learned behaviors that we took on earlier in life, dealing with our traumas and the various environments that we come from and different things like that. And then you never even realize how you have a whole different personality outside of who your trauma and your pain made you. So what we do is deal with that, unwrap and unlayer, the things that stop you from maximizing your potential, whether it's your thoughts, whether it's your words, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your allies, the people that's next to you, whether it's the way that you confront and deal with your issues, whether it's some healing that you need to do, that you need to take place. We just deal with these various things. So at the end of the day, we could be better individuals than we were the day before. 'Cause that should really be our only daily goal. You competing with that person in the mirror, you competing with, the level of happiness that you had yesterday, why we can't raise that up to the next level. That's what we out here to do. And I appreciate everybody logging in, joining us this morning. I've been seeing a lot of people lately, parents lately, talking about how, they're at home with their kids and they don't know what to do. And that is so mind-blowing. Like, have we really gotten so far away from just normal life that we just can't sit at home with our kids or with our family and enjoy it? Like, that's crazy to me. Thank you for sharing these affirmations with us. Absolutely. And that's why we have to every day engage your mind and go into a positive place and being at a positive level. If you can't, if you don't have the luxury, I'll say, of starting your day and creating the environment that you need so that you can survive your day, then you are doing, then you got to change something. You just got to be proactive and change something. If that means that you just got to wake up 15 minutes earlier, and, I don't care if you got to go in your closet, take a 5 minutes longer in the shower and just impart the things that you need in your mind to yourself. You gotta build yourself up. That's so important. Your inner voice determines how you think about yourself and what you're going to tell yourself you're capable of. And the way that you perceive yourself is going to determine how you perceive your power and how that you can handle the other things that's going to come your way. If you understand that you're greater than every situation that comes to you, then when that situation comes to you, you're going to look at it and say, okay, well, how I need to handle it? What's the strategy I'm just going to use to get around it, rather than looking at it and saying, man, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. I guess I got to stop, or I guess I got to figure something else out. No, I already started the day saying I'm capable of handling anything that come my way. So I don't even got to cross that bridge when it gets to me. I'm just going to handle it. When I say people go out their way to do nice things for me, I'm expecting to see that as well. You attract not just what you desire, but who you are. Not who you pretend to be, not who you want to be, not who you think you are, not who you tell people you are, but who you actually are. So if you go out and put out positive energy, and you surround yourself and you give yourself nothing but positive energy, it's just definitely going to come back to you in mass amounts on a daily basis. So it's always that's always a smart thing to do, to start your day building yourself up. Positive affirmation, positive thoughts, positive words, positive mindsets. You might have had some things in your mind last night that you need to clear out. You know what I mean? This is, everyone's been watching it. I'm so glad y'all started to wash our hands, by the way. I don't want to brag. I'm not trying to say I'm better than nobody, but I've been washing my hands a long ass time. I'm so glad y'all just decided to join us and get on board with the whole hand washing sanitation thing. But listen, on top of sanitizing your hands, what are you doing to clean your mind? What are you doing to sanitize your mind and get the thoughts out of it that's not supposed to be there? You know, different conversations that I appreciate y'all support. Definitely, the book is definitely going to bless you. Give you some good things to think about. But listen, you got to, what are you doing to clean your mind? You know, people, some conversations that you have, plant seeds in your mind, things that people may say to you, some thoughts, some negative thoughts, seeds they're all sitting in your mind, right? What are you doing to get out the things that don't need to be there? It works by just using affirmations, just talking yourself. You're the divine creator of your life. So if your words are so powerful, and if your brain believes what you tell it, why not build up your brain and tell it powerful things, about you? Because if your brain hear anything like 7 times or better, it's going to start to believe it, whether it's true or not. So that's definitely a cheat code. Build yourself up to the person that you want to be by first edifying your mind, edifying your spirit, with the affirmations and confirmations of who you are, what you desire. That's how you stay focused. Just like you should make a verbal commitment to your goals on a daily basis. That helps you stay in line, because life gonna throw you so many things to get you off path. But if you, verbally state what your goals are, what your plan are, and what it is that you want to obtain and accomplish, it's gonna make it easy to not do all the other various things that aren't aligned with your goals. That's gonna save you some time. That's going to keep you on track. That's going to give you, kind of a guideline to go by. So that definitely helps. But back to these people who don't want to be with their kids. Y'all know some people like that? Y'all know some people that having a hard time adjusting to their children not being in school. And all of a sudden, they writing love letters to the teachers like, I ain't know you had it so bad. Look, man, this is the perfect time to buckle down with your family and elevate them as well. It's a perfect time to get to know your kid. You might not know them as well as you probably don't know them as well as you think. And they probably don't know you that well either. So it's a great time to take advantage of the fact that we could all be together. We could talk, and that you can grow your family. You know what I mean? A lot of people, this being in the house thing is exposing those who enjoy their life and those who don't. You know what I mean? But just like if you was locked up in jail, so they use solitary confinement as a way to torture you, because to the average person, being alone with themselves is not pleasant company. And that's just the truth. And that's because a lot of people have so many things that they haven't dealt with. So they're lost in their own mind, and without the availability of positive insight. If you just sitting alone dealing with your anger and your issues by yourself, to most people, being alone with themselves is not pleasant company, and that's their biggest problem. And so, the way you feel about yourself is definitely reflecting in your other relationships, especially with the ones most near you. So if you not feeling good by yourself, chances are when you're alone with your family and you stuck in your house, you're not happy. And chances are that you're using your title, your positions, your jobs, your possessions, your toys, and the other things like that to validate your life. Because if you just can't be by yourself and find happiness, you're looking for happiness in other things, in other places, in other people, and that's only going to be temporary. And that's kind of why it's imperative to unblock some of the things that might be in your life that's keeping you from having peace within yourself, so that you can, you know, be cool like that. Because if you don't have, you gotta have peace with yourself before the rest of it will fall in line for you. Let me read some of these comments real good. Yeah, it's easy. That's it, right. That's an easy game. Play 21 questions. There's so many things that you could do with your kids. It's so it don't even matter what the age, what the age is. Like, I mean, I sat down with my kids yesterday and the day before and just let them paint, and then had them explain to me what they painted and what it was, and just kept asking various questions about it and exploring their mind. And then I applauded it. And then, man, I love that so much. Will you sign it for me? Like, just interact and adore your people. What's so hard? What's so hard about that? I know so many people that it was like, man, I don't never get to see my fam. I don't get to see the kids because I'm always working. And now they done stopped y'all jobs, and everybody like just can't wait to get back to work, and can't wait to get away from this person that they should be happy to just be sitting down with. Some people are starting to realize that their mate is not as cool as they thought they was, and and maybe doesn't have all the qualities that you thought you might have been necessary. It was cool because dude had a nice car, had some nice clothes, and good personality, and now you starting to figure out that he dirty. And he can't, he might not be the right one that's going to build a new shelter for you or protect you in worst case scenarios. Some dudes is finding out that this girl was thick and got cute lips and all that stuff. But, they stopped shipping eyelashes and wigs from China. So things is getting pretty ugly around here. And you might be the one to find out that, hey, man, she really can't cook that good either. Shit. Mindset is so much more important than anything else. That's all I could tell you. So if you have not found out already, you should be dealing with people based off of their mindset, not based off of the other things that they have to offer you. Because it's your mindset that's gonna run your house, raise your kids, and keep you at peace. Not all those other things. So let's see. We was talking about habits yesterday. And I came across a couple pieces of information that I thought was pretty interesting. So in talking about habits, it says it's time to understand that there is self-exploration and self-examination to do. Now, when you do those two things, it leads to self-understanding. When you have self-understanding, that allows greater self-management, because you manage what you measure. Right? Just like it's like your checkbook or your bank account or your credit or anything for that matter. You manage it. You manage what you measure. And if you want to empower yourself, then that's going to require you every day being honest with yourself, first and foremost, and doing some self-exploration, asking yourself if anger is your issue, for instance. What's making me angry? Who am I in my anger moments? What levels of anger do I have? What are my triggers? What might have caused that trigger? Who's impacting my anger? Who helps me not be angry? Those are all questions that you would ask yourself if you was dealing with anger and you're trying to explore and examine yourself so that you could understand yourself. Because once you understand yourself, you can manage yourself better. So whatever it is that you wanted to accomplish in your journey of self-development, it's going to require you being honest and open with yourself on a daily basis. That doesn't mean that every day you have to do a full unpacking of your feelings and your emotions, but you definitely have to do an honest assessment every day so you can know where you're at. If you're having a bad day, it's okay to say that you're having a bad day, and then figure out, okay, so what are the things that I do that's gonna make my day better? What are the things that I need to incorporate in my life so I can change my attitude, change my mindset, or change the way that I feel, But if you don't take off the mask that you're wearing, you're never going to address and approach reinforce these things, and you can never heal what you hide, and you'll always repeat what you don't repair. So it's important and it's very imperative that you are open and honest with yourself, and that you give yourself the opportunity to even be open. A lot of times, like, we'll start our day knowing that something that stole your peace, or that just had some internal turmoil or something like that. And you'll wake up the next morning and just deal with the day as it starts, and deal with the issues and deal with the things that are in front of you that you have to. Not even realizing that you just took that negative thing that was sitting in your mind, and you just pushed it to the side. It ain't going nowhere. You just took it from the forefront of your mind and just started doing everything that you had to do, but it didn't go nowhere. And it sat and it started to take root, or it started to look for things that would confirm it. And so that's why it's great to start your day airing all those things out. If you get all that shit out your mind, then you can move forward focused and free. You know what I mean? Don't let people walk through your mind with their dirty feet either. What I mean by that is, when people say something that doesn't sit well with you, or that someone might say something negative to you. It might be someone close to you that it bothered you, that they said whatever they said, or thought whatever they thought, or conveyed whatever they conveyed, and then that thought sticks in your mind, and you find yourself walking around still having that negative thought in your mind, and you find yourself walking around combating mentally that negative encounter from that person, or reliving it. That's what I mean when I say having someone walk through your mind with their dirty feet, because people will track dirt in your mind, and you can't allow that. You have to dismiss that negative thought. The same way you certainly would not let someone walk across your bed tracking dirt from the outside, through your area, through and where you lay your head and where you rest your head. You need to take that same approach when it comes to what you allow to be trafficked through your head. The words and conversations that other people bring your way, all of it don't got to be sent here. All of it does not have to be accepted. So every conversation isn't to be allowed the opportunity to dwell in your mind or take root in your belief system. You understand? Like, someone's told you something about you, and you believed it, and it went from being their opinion to a way that you believe about yourself. That's happened to all of us. So the way that you would combat that is to not allow negative words to take root. And if there was a negative thought that you were dwelling on, that you wanted to get out of your mind, how do you deal with a negative thought? Can someone tell me? How is it that you fight a negative thought? What do you fight a negative thought with? You fight a negative thought with your words. You can't fight a thought with a thought. You'll never win that battle. You'll be going back and forth all day. You defeat and conquer a negative thought with a positive word. So whatever that negative thought is, whatever that idea is, you need to be audibly speaking the positive affirmation that cancels it out. No matter what it is. And you do it several times. You do it audibly so that you can hear it, so that you can believe it. Like I said earlier, your mind's going to believe what you tell it repetitively. And your inner voice is really the conversation that you're having with the universe, the conversation that you're having with God. That's your inner voice, the way that you believe of yourself and your soul. So don't ever let anything on this planet change that, or jeopardize that, or take you away from the greatness that's within you. You got to learn to release negative words spoken over you, to you, about you, and even by you. Everything that is unwanted and unyielding peace in your life, you have to learn to release. The same way that you pick it up, we know how to pick things up. We know how to take other people's problem on. Some of us that have a great heart, we do that. Some of us that have been in codependent situations, we do that. Some of us that just move a certain way and feel like we love people so much that we have to help them through all of their stuff, we do that. But we also have to be able to release. You just can't pick up everything. You got to learn how to put shit down. You got to know when to not pick things up. You got to know when it's okay to say, that one's not for me. That's not the thing that I need to You don't need to pick up. Great day, Grand Rising, top of the top to you, sir. You have a great day at work. You be safe out there. You know what I mean? You and your family definitely appreciate you. Your book on the way. You definitely should have it in a few days. Speaking of, anyway, man, if y'all bought a book last week, all those orders have been fulfilled. They're in the mail. You can check your tracking numbers. If it said that it was waiting on the package to be dropped off to the post office, all those packages got dropped off to the post office. I definitely appreciate y'all for your patience, because I did get a few days behind on shipping. I just learned my shipping process last week, and I made a couple of mistakes. So definitely won't, don't anticipate it happening again, but brand new in the field. So I appreciate y'all patience once again. But yeah, so if you ordered books last week, all those orders have been fulfilled and shipped out. This week's orders have not yet. Obviously, it's still the beginning, down at the beginning of the week, but I got y'all. So yeah, don't let people walk through your mind with the dirty feet. And definitely, if you are in any of those codependent scenarios I was speaking of, find a way out of that. Because it's a crutch. It may feel familiar. It may look like, I think I was in a codependent situation for a good year before I even realized that's what it was one time. A lot of our alliances that we have with people are trauma bonds. You ever heard of that? That means you and this person have a similar trauma, or could have had completely different traumas rather. However, the way that you feel based off of your trauma at this state of life is similar. So you understand. I understand why you like that, because I went through something that makes me like that, and we have similar mindset based off of things that we've been through. So you click up. A lot of our relationships, toxic and non-toxic relationships, form because of trauma bonds, because we have something in common, rooted in some form of trauma or past negative experience. Now, those aren't all bad. And so I definitely don't mean to say, like, just because you got a trauma bond with somebody and that's how y'all connected, that is something wrong or toxic in that relationship. But those type of bonds can definitely lead to codependent and unhealthy relationships. Under me meeting someone in the room a few weeks ago to do a consultation, a one-on-one session that they booked with me. And just off of everything that little bro was saying, it was, I directly identified with everything that he was saying, because I experienced it on my own. If me and him met in a different setting, it would be easier. It would be easy for us to, just click up and be friends, because we have a similar mindset based off of things that we've endured and survived. The problem with that is you're dealing with two people who are running the same offense and running the same defense, and you need more than one. You need a different mindset, because y'all both have the capability of looking at a situation and not seeing the bright side of it and not seeing the other side of it. So that can begin to be a codependent crutch from you. That gets you in a situation where you have excessive emotional and psychological alliance to a person, or relying on that person, man. And now once you're relying on somebody, you depend on someone. You giving someone the ability to feed you. You giving them the ability to starve you first and foremost. So we can't do that. And especially if you got children, like, you can't be putting that in anyone's hands. And whether that's financially or not, like, it could be mentally. If you're dependent on someone to get you high, then that same person can get you low. That's way too much power that you put into a whole nother person. So that's why to get out of a situation like that, you need to set boundaries. You need to, set the beliefs that you are actually responsible for yourself and not someone else's emotions. You need to, cancel out any fear of speaking truth or anything that's lowering your self-worth. You need to cancel out the fear of rejection that you may have for that person if you actually start speaking differently or voicing your truths. And just as you can find a codependent situation in that from two people that form trauma bonds, you can also find people who, I'll call them healing bonds, that have been through something, emerged from it, and now see life differently because of it. That's a great type of bond. Those are powerful bonds. Someone who has suffered through an abusive situation, came to the other side of it, and then they meet somebody else who has as well. And now they both have sympathy for the same situation, empathy for people going through it, and they probably have a little bit of a heart to change it for more people. So that type of bond is going to be more prone to do something positive. You did what I'm saying, because they've survived it, and the fact of the matter is healing people. Healed people heal people. The same way hurt people hurt people. Once you get healed in an area, in an issue, you tend to try to help people who have been in the same issue, because you can understand what they're going through. You can speak from experience. So healed people go out their way to heal people. When I found my healing, I said, man, I looked around and seeing a lot of people who were trapped in their pain and didn't know how to get past it and didn't know how to maximize their potential. I seen a lot of people who were repeating the same cycles and not moving forward in life. And I knew I used to be in a space like that. And so I took all the things that took me from one place to another, and I put it in a book, and I said, I want to put this out so that my brothers and my sisters, our people, could be set free. Whether it's mental, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional. There's so many levels of bondage that we take on throughout life. And so that was why it was important and imperative for me to give the opportunity of healing, because again, healed people heal people. So I wanted to give you that. I ain't checked out any comments. Great day, Grand Rising to everyone just walked in the room. Rose, what's up? How you doing, beautiful? Wait, sometimes that's what you gotta do. Too much blackness. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. And I don't, and a lot of times that may not be the easiest thing to do, but it's gonna be the easiest thing to do. You dig what I'm saying? Because everything else is gonna be a more complicated route, and it's gonna take longer. And sometimes. Somebody told me a long time ago, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So you could go like this all you want to, dodging and weaving and bobbing through a situation to get where you're trying to go. Or you could just take that straight line from point A to point B. That way you guard yourself. Absolutely. You don't allow yourself to be in that situation. And ain't nothing wrong with being single. It shouldn't just be not just a choice. It should be the mandate until there is a reason for you to open up yourself to another human being. Life, great day, Grand Rising to you, King. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, if y'all do not know, Life Speaks Life, make sure you follow this powerful and dynamic brother. He has such a great message. And definitely does his thing on the gram, as well as, plenty of other places. So he does have some wonderful information and inspiration and motivation for you. So definitely check out my brother, Life Speaks Life. So yeah, that's what we were saying about walking away. Sometimes you just gotta walk away from a situation and know that you deserve better. And nothing says you deserve better than self-discipline. And if you see yourself in a situation that does not fit you, that you feel internally, that you know within your heart and your spirit you're better than, you are absolutely right. And you should dismantle that situation. You should depart from that situation, and you are preserving yourself. You're making a way for your better future by getting away from something that's detrimental to your present. You dig what I'm saying? So if it does not fit you, and you know that you should have better, you're not gonna get better by settling for what you shouldn't have. Like I said yesterday, what you settle for is what you're telling yourself, your God, and your universe you're willing to accept. And what you're willing to accept is what you're telling yourself, your God, and your universe you're willing to settle for. So you got to choose which day what it's going to be. If you're going to stay in something that you know is not at your level and it's not going to uplift you and give you the ability to elevate to where you need to go. If you know that this partner or this place or this job or, or even yourself, your own mindset is in your way. You got to be willing to walk away from anything that's not a benefit to your future, even if it's the current version of yourself. If that means that you got to sit yourself down and say, hey, self, you're not doing what I need you to do to get me where I need to go. So we're going to have to switch some things out. We're going to have to put this thing over here on timeout. You're going to not be able to do this anymore. I'm not taking you over here. We're not going to talk like this. We're not going to think like this. And you start to implement things in your life that actually correspond with where you want to go. Like we were talking about yesterday about your habits. So if you change your mindset, you change your habits, you can change so much about your life in a short period of time. Your habits are your infrastructure of your life. Your habits is what you're going to build, your realities off of. But your mind, it all obviously starts in your mindset. So if the same opportunities keep coming to you in different ways, in different forms, in different versions, this is an opportunity that may come to you unprovoked and in conversations, even with strangers. I want you to take this as a strong sign of something that you should pursue. This is a key to awakening your authenticity. Find something that stimulates your purpose for 30 minutes a day. You got so much going on, but just give yourself 30 minutes a day. Give yourself to yourself. Get out of your mind and get into your soul just a little bit, just for 30 minutes a day. Stimulate your purpose. What is it? What is it that you were sent to this dimension to do on time? Because whenever you arrived in this dimension, it was divine time, and then it was a divine plan for you to exist in the scenarios that you came from. For you to be in the position that you're in right now is all divine timing. And if you don't know what that divine reason is, I want to give you a couple of ways that you can find what I call your purpose points. If you can identify your purpose points, and it helps you align yourself with your purpose. So these are a few exercises, and this is key number 55 in the Manifesting You book. Again, it's 111 keys to unlocking your divinity and maximizing your potential. So I'm going to read you some of the keys, some of the points in key 55 to awakening your authenticity. Start with a simple one. Remember what you like to do as a kid. Remember, when you just had childlike faith of what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be, what made you smile as a kid, what made you, imagine yourself as an adult. What was that? Identify what you would love to do if money wasn't an option. So if you didn't have to worry about paying your bills, if you didn't have to worry, make sure y'all drink plenty of water, by the way. If you didn't have to worry about obtaining a certain amount of money each day, each week, each month, what is it that you would love to do if money wasn't an issue? It's another one. Think about the talents and skill sets that you have and that you can utilize right now. It doesn't involve you traveling or going somewhere. It doesn't require much assistance from anything else or anyone else. So this is a talent and skill that you possess that you could utilize right now. What is it? It's probably something that's related to your purpose. If you just got it like that, like I know speaking, articulating words, writing, is one of my talents. It's something that I can do without any assistance. And it's something that I can do that can be a benefit of other people. That's one of my talents that's connected to my purpose. What is it that you do? Not just flawlessly, but easily and naturally. What is it that you do naturally? Because that thing was put into you for a reason. And this is the thing, when your child, when your kid is small, or even when you were small, your mother looked at you and said, "Man, my child is a genius. Look at my child over there. Look at what he or she doing." And the way that you would talk and convey your understanding and and your thought process, and your parents always said, "My child's smart. They're a genius, and they can do whatever they want." And that was the faith that you had, that you could do whatever you want. And then life, came your way and threw you different realities that took you out of that reality, that what we call childlike faith. But let's get back to that. Because we all know faith is evidence of things not seen. And we all know that faith is the strongest and fastest moving currency that you have at your disposal. So why not be using our faith the same way that we did as a child? We don't have to be ignorant and want things that definitely aren't possible, but you have a belief in yourself. I took my kids to the park the other day, and my 2-year-old believed that she can do the things that my 4-year-old, can do. And she just had that much faith in herself. As much as I say, hey, that's not for you, that's for the bigger kids. You don't need to do that. Let's go do this thing over here. She seen it done and had enough faith in herself that she said, no, it might be difficult, but I'm going to try. And lo and behold, she did what she was trying to do because she never stopped to tell herself that she couldn't. Why shouldn't we as adults have that same type of faith in our adult life? And if you utilize that same type of faith in your adult life, things are going to happen beyond your control because that's what faith does. You dig what I'm saying? So, let's see, imagine you have no obligations and that things don't have to make sense. You are free to make whatever choice you like. What comes to mind? Think about it. It doesn't have to make sense. I'll give you an example. 2019, I opened up a construction company. I don't do construction. I don't have a background in construction. I don't even consider myself a handyman. But I understood the ability that I have to leverage my relationships and to leverage the knowledge that I do have with different people. And I created a business around that principle and that business model that I know people who know how to do it. So I can charge somebody else some money and send somebody else to go do it and just play the middleman. That didn't make sense to people when I came out the woodworks and said, hey, I'm going to start a construction company. And that was in February of last year. That company is excelling so well that since February of last year, it's allowed me to open up 3 other businesses. It don't have to make sense. None of those businesses don't make sense necessarily to me either because I'm not I'm not a chef. I'm not a cook. I know somebody who was though. So we got together and we got a food truck. Hey, baby. Good morning.
Where's Tati?
Where's Tati? I think Tati's in her room sleeping. Good morning. Grand Rising. We're gonna go to Tati's room. Can I have a kiss? You're so pretty. I think Tati and Rara laying down in Tati's room.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. You're my baby.
The Wawa baby.
So yeah, like I was saying, it don't have to make sense. Your dreams, your aspirations, your visions don't have to make sense. And most of the time when it don't, that makes the most sense at the end of the day because then you put yourself in a position where you gotta make something manifest. And what's up? You can't find Rara? Is it too dark out there? Y'all give me 1 second. I'll be right back, okay? Come on. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. So what we talking about? Childlike faith. Think like a child. Come from the heart and start doing what your heart tells you to do with the resources that you have available to you right now. What do you imagine yourself doing that's so scared? I mean, so big that it scares you. That it doesn't make sense. That you don't even see how those two dots would connect. Hey, I don't know what just happened. My live ended, so I just clicked back on. I hope y'all with me. Hey, appreciate y'all coming back in the room. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened, but great day, girl. Rising Queen. How you doing today? Yeah. So again, we'll go back to thanking everyone for coming back. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, but having that childlike faith in yourself. You know, fate loves the fearless. That's what I was about to say. Imagine yourself doing something so big that it scares you. What is that? Don't never look down at yourself and your goals or your position and think that something's out of your reach. Because, man, life could change so much in 30 days, in 90 days, in 6 months, in a year. Your life can look completely different. Your resources, your abilities could be completely different. You might just be one trade or one skill set away from the financial freedom that you're looking for, or from you just might be one healthy relationship away from the lifestyle that you're looking for, and not just in terms of just having money, but in terms of having peace. That's the real bag. Having a wealth of peace, having a wealth of love, having health. Those are all the things that really is important in life. I mean, the money's good, but the money can't be your God. The money can't be what your main motivation is. And you're actually missing out on the most beautiful things of life if you're going to allow money to be your biggest motivator. And if if you gotta work for it day and night, obviously you don't even got time to live. Some rich white man said that when I don't know if it was Rockefeller or one of them, but said something like, if a person works all day, they have no time to make a living. And that's true. And making a living is not just making money; it's living, right? It's experiences. It's enjoying your people. It's providing life to people that you love. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but nothing makes me feel better than providing goodness to the people I care about. And that's what life is. That's the best. That's the best part of life. That's the best part of love. So, that's definitely what we should be inspiring to do. Let's see. Key number 71. I'm gonna read that too. So we're talking about self-discipline, because discipline is the strongest form of self-love. Discipline is intentional decision making backed by supportive actions. You hear me? Discipline is intentional decision making backed by supportive actions. Discipline is ignoring your current pleasures, your current state of mind and body for the greater future and reward and desires. Not to mention that your words become more powerful when your actions actually back them up. Sometimes, after meditating on a desire or an intention to obtain something, you will come across an opportunity that bears the appearance of whatever you were just meditating on. Two things are happening here. One, the law of attraction is working for you. And two, the universe, God, the divine powers, however you want to look at it, they have gifted you with an opportunity to exercise your faith, your intentions, and your habits on what you decide. So don't waste your chance. Respond to them without hesitation. I came across somebody yesterday who displayed a talent that I've been looking for, and for something that I need, on my team in my various operations. And I hit him up like, "Hey, I just seen it. I seen what you did. Like, did you do that on accident or did you mean to do it? Because if you meant to do that, um, we need to talk because I've been looking for someone that can do that." And that person responded was like, "I've been waiting for someone to see, this skill set of mine and hoping that someone would recognize it and allow me to do more of it." And then double back with, you sent me that on 222, the 222, which to them was definitely a confirmation of a divine appointment. Because you already know how we get down with these numbers: great day, grand rising, two. So 222 is a number of divine appointment and of turnaround blessing. Look it up. So to that person and to myself, people who definitely understand how the universe speaks, uh, it seemed like, you was what I was looking for and I was what you was looking for. You have something that, that you do something that could benefit me. I do something that could benefit you. So let's see how we can work together and benefit each other. To me, that was a divine appointment. But it was something that I was meditating on and asking the universe for. And there was someone that was also meditating on it on their end and asking the universe for it. And they made us cross paths. And when something divine like that happens, you act on it. And when your spirit tells you something, you act on it. Your spirit, your inward mind is it's a divine spirit. It does not exist in time the same way that we exist in time. So when your spirit is telling you something, especially if it's telling you twice, 2 or 3 times, it's something you're supposed to do. It's an opportunity. It's a divine opportunity, that's waiting for you somewhere. You're supposed to react to it. Because since your spirit doesn't exist in time, it's not telling you something based off of right now. It's telling you something based off of what you need to do for a future gain. That's follow that. Follow your intuition. Your intuition is very important. Follow your dreams. If you wake up and you have a dream and you wake up and you remember it, write it down. Especially if you have it more than once, because those are things that it might have been a vision that you were supposed to elaborate on. Some of our dreams don't make sense immediately when we wake up and we think about it, because our mind's still trying to process it. But if you actually write it down and then start to pay attention to it, it'll make more sense to you. Like it might be later on in the day when you go back to it, and what you wrote down will connect to something else in your that has been processing in your brain since then. I promise you, I'm not making it up. Write down your dreams and think about it. If any of y'all are into trying to be active in your dreams, or REM sleeping, or just trying to be active in your dreams, I learned something that actually really did work for me, and I forgot where I was at when they told me. But it said, if you're in your dream, right, the way, however our mind works, it has something to do with our hands. If you're in your dream, and you know how sometimes when you're in your dream, you realize, I'm dreaming, I'm actually in this dream state. Remember to look at your hands. If you could look down in your hands in your dream, something about this visualization allows you to a part of your brain to tap in that may not be active in that dream, and you can then start to manipulate your dream. Like, how sometimes you're just in it, and it's like you're in a ride and you're going through your dream, but you're not in control of it. If you can remember and you just put this in your mind, and obviously this thought can be existing in your mind while you sleep. So trust me, because I've heard it plenty of years ago, and I know it to actually be true because I've got a chance to actually do it. But in your sleep, yeah, if you in your dream and say, look at your hands. and you make yourself in your dream look at your hands, I can't tell you why, but what I can tell you certainly and truthfully is that you do assume a different level of control in your dream, so you can like maneuver through it differently. So random piece of information, I know, but cool piece of information. So keep that with you. Try it. And there's various books and different things you could look online and learn about, different ways to interact with your dreams, different ways to get into a dream state for various purposes. A lot of people do it intentionally, so that's always something to look into. Different information, some you may have never even heard of before. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. But what time is it? 8:53. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get these kids fed in just a little bit because you don't feed women, they don't start acting right. So I'm gonna have to get them taken care of. But I want to tell you something else before we leave. An apology without changed behavior is nothing more than clever manipulation. Yeah, take that one. An apology without changed behavior is nothing more than clever manipulation. So avoid people who are unable to apologize sincerely on their own. Avoid people who act like a victim when they're confronted with their actions or they display abusive or toxic behavior. Avoid people who expect you to prioritize them but don't prioritize you. What's up, Queen? How you been? Appreciate you coming through and joining us. You know, avoid people who mess with your head. Avoid people who intentionally or repeatedly do and say things that you have already let them know upset you. You know, and avoid people who take offense when you hold them accountable. If you can avoid people like that, you will definitely keep some peace in your life. Because those are people who display toxic behaviors to you and probably don't value you the way that they should, or maybe they do and they're just toxic individuals and they don't know no better. Either way, it's up to you to protect yourself, protect your peace, and create the barriers that's gonna have you in a happy, healthy, life. So when you love yourself, you grow from within and you glow from within, and you'll set up different mandates so that you can continue to do that. You'll attract the people who love and respect and appreciate your light. Everything starts with how you feel about yourself. So if you start feeling worthy and you start feeling valuable and you start feeling deserving, you're going to attract people who feel that same way about you. Some of those people can even be family. Some people can especially be family. That's a whole nother thing right there. I'm working on a course right now. That's a family course. And it's going to dealing with family members, adults to adults. It's going to deal with single parenting, co-parenting, and just household relationships. Because you're right, Rose. Our family can be some of the most toxic people in our lives. And a lot of us don't even understand and don't know it because we're so used to it. We've been around it that you don't even understand until you kind of step away from the situation that behavior is toxic, or that the way that that family member is speaking or positions himself as manipulative. Stay away from someone who's going to try to punish you for not doing something that you like, that they don't like, or is going to use another human being in the balance and say, oh, I don't like what you did, so my kids ain't coming over there. I'm like that. You do something to me, my kids ain't coming over there. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm referring to people who are, just being toxic in the way that they do it. Was good, coach. Great day, grand rising, top of the top to you. Avoid people who are going to, just be manipulative in a situation. And a lot of our elders, I think they come from a space where I guess toxic behavior was you was just able to be toxic, I guess. We ain't doing that over here no more though. So you're going to be held accountable for your behavior, and you're going to act accordingly. If you want the presence of this king and everything that come along with him, you're going to act the way that you got to be inside this kingdom. I feel no ways about cutting somebody out of this kingdom if they're not behaving the way that they supposed to, and they not being positive in the kingdom. Like, nah. No, we don't play them games. You could do that over there. But if you want to be over here, if you want to exist with the benefits that come here, because let me tell you, the grass is greener wherever I'm at. So if you trying to be in this green grass over here, listen, you're going to have to act right. You're going to have to respect. You're going to have to, not be toxic. I don't ask for much. Just be a good human being, and avoid the people who aren't. And then save yourself some peace. But when it comes to your family, you gotta deal with them a little differently, because you just can't just exile everyone and just cut everybody off. So you have to learn how to confront and deal with those who do have toxic behavior and toxic patterns. And keep in mind that these are all also individuals who learn these behaviors from other things that previously happened to them. Our elders grew up in a much different time and endured much different types of lives than we did. So they feel a certain way. They were groomed to believe certain things that we weren't. So they feel and do things a certain way. 30 years ago, you couldn't have a kid saying no and then not getting popped across their mouth. Some of us have a little bit more of a free thinking, state of mind where we might discipline our child differently and don't feel like we got to slap them across the room to prove a point. I'm a man. I have 2 little children. I'm not raising my children to believe that the way that have to teach them and the way that they have to learn a lesson is by me putting my hands on them. I'm definitely a much more powerful human being to know that I can control a situation, especially with my own children, without having to, teach them through violence. That's just not how I'm going to do it. And my children are smart.